Hey guys, Scotty here with Ninja and Aaron. In this video, what we want to do is talk about the MMT story, how it became what it is today. In this other video that you'll see above or below on this page, we went through Ninja's story, how the philosophy behind it, how that came to him. So now let's talk about how it turned into MMT and what it is. So Ninja, to begin with, can you tell us about how MMT started, like day one? How did it go from just you having a way of seeing the world to this thing that we call MMT?
Yeah, so I worked by myself for a while, just in a house in West Heidelberg, an old commission home. So all came from there. I was doing my treatments and I had the lounge room set up with deadlifting equipment and you do chin-up, pull-ups in there and that. So I just converted it, had some mirrors and things like that. Working by myself, but I quickly wanted to kind of teach other people. So I had a couple of other people that right in my first couple of years that I was starting to teach the money spot and things like that too. And going along there for about 5 years. I had another guy that worked in another room just in this old house, and then one of my biggest breakthroughs, I think it was I got a job at Western Bulldogs, which is an AFL footy club. So. Australian Rules Football Club here in Melbourne. So I got a break because one of my customers was seeing the assistant coach there, just got a new position, and that kind of really opened me up to the wider world, I think, and just got heaps of experience with really high level athletes as well. So, and I just went in there with all this confidence, I'm going to fix everyone. and I just knew in my heart I could do it too. And I told him at this little interview, I'm just going to fix you. OP, doesn't matter, I'm going to fix it. This is in 2004. And so me and this other guy that I'd been training up, we went in together, and so after that, 2005, I got my own clinic. So I was in Ivanhoe. So I was there for a year, and then I got another one in North Fitzroy. Okay. So that's when I started training up some other people as well. And I sort of just trained them, and they were doing their own thing. And then around 2008, that's when it sort of started really becoming, what we know today. So started to get a lot more practitioners in, and teaching him the lifts and our signature deep tissue treatment. Okay. So sort of went from there. I've been doing the barefoot lifting for healing pain since 2001, and 2001 was the time when I really started changing the way that I was treating. So I was being quite effective before that as well, but I was started to throw away the oil bottle and just was using wax or no wax, nothing. Back in 2001, and all those sort of philosophies really started to develop and evolve back then. Okay,
so that was in 2001 that happened, and you said that 2008 is when it started to become the beginning into what it is today. So what is it that was happening then, and like how many people did you have in the team and things like that?
I think we just hired like two. We had me and this other guy, and we hired 2 or 3 other people. Okay. So it was like a 5, so that was actually in Collingwood. Okay. It's in 2008.
Oh, so there's been a few different spots,
a few clinics.
Every suburb.
Yeah, so I just Melbourne Muscular Therapies. We had that name since 2005. Yeah. So before that, I was just Marcus Infield Muscular Therapies. So
So Muscular Therapies was there.
Muscular Therapies was there right from the start since 1999. So, but the Melbourne Muscular Therapies wasn't just me anymore from 2005 onwards, so it was other people that were singing, whistling the same tune, so
Okay, cool. So we got to 2008, and this is where Melbourne Muscular Therapies is starting to look a little bit like what it does now. And can you take us from there through the next stage of the business? I know that there was a bit of a break, so maybe we can go through that and then into where we also enter the another important part of the picture here, who's on the other.
He's got 7 years to catch up on there. There's a little bit of water to go under the bridge.
I suppose with me, I've kind of been the founder, I suppose, of the work. So I've been the teacher and the people's champ. So I'm kind of looking after the people that work with me.
People's champ, I like this.
And I sort of had other people to help me up with the finance sort of stuff, because that hasn't been my strength, that hasn't been my gift, hasn't been a high value of mine, although it's getting higher. But so I trained people up, so it was just working on them, get them to work on me, taking them in the gym, taking them out in the alleyway, different things like that, just to try and demonstrate and articulate the different philosophies and methods. And we just worked together, and it was pretty primitive at the start, like just the training process of new practitioners. So it was just a few sessions and then go and fend for yourself a bit. But I've always kind of tried to be there to support them, and I've been working big hours on the table as well all the way through up until the last couple of years. So so that's been a challenge as well, to fit a lot in. So 2015 was when we kind of had a breakup in the business. So before that, we had 5 different clinics.
Okay.
So we had
5.
So there was a Collingwood at one time, the Richmond one that's still in existence, Camberwell, South Melbourne, and we had a second Richmond clinic. And the Richmond clinic was actually a natural hygienic clinic. So we had the infrared saunas, had a couple of infrared saunas, and the colonic irrigation machines, and had naturopaths that were kind of talking about, the health stuff in there. So, but we also had a couple of rooms where we're doing treatments out of as well. So it kind of expanded really quickly. And I suppose in that process, I lost a lot of connection with a lot of the people as well, because they were off working in different clinics around Melbourne, and I'm working really hard on the table as well. So I suppose it can get lost, the messages can get lost a bit if you're kind of only seeing people every 6 months or things like that. So
you say diluted is a good term. It's like, it's the core group has to split, and you lose the essence of the culture and why you're even doing what you're doing.
How many people did you have in total across those 5 clinics at that stage, at its biggest in that form?
It might have been less than what we've got right now. It might have only been like 15 people. Like 2, 3, 4 people at each place.
Spread thin.
So you've got big overheads to own clinics around the city fringe around Melbourne, and but it worked for a while, and then I believe that after each extinction, so you grow back better, come back better. So around in 2015, that's when Aaron and Jason started with us, and they were just raw.
Hairy ass apprentices, that's what we were. You can tell a story about me and how I was the rut.
So we had
I was the runt of the litter.
So we had an intake of a few new people. So there's three guys that came in, and so the other heads of the Camberwell and the South Melbourne clinics, they got the first 2 choices, because Richmond already had a couple of people, so they were really low on numbers, so they got the first choices, and I got left with Aaron.
Sounds like a draft night, your number 1 pick, your number 2 pick, and it was like I was left over, so I just got shunted off to Richmond. But you fast forward and it was a blessing.
But I would have picked Aaron anyway, and
he says,
I would have for sure, because I knew that what Aaron brought was he had his exercise science stuff and psychology, and he'd already worked in retail a lot, tall and kind of very confident, could speak really well. So I kind of knew that he was going to be a big asset if I could win him over. And I suppose what I did was far from the conventional that he would been used to. So I had to do the hard sell, I believe, into how this works and how beneficial this is and how you can really affect people's lives. So I really worked hard with Aaron to kind of get him in the gym and teach him a lot of these different philosophy that enables you to work with chronic customers and also with returning people as well. So which is sort of a big thing with us, is that connection. So we do a lot of talk in our training sessions about communication, eye contact, shaking hands and listening and things like that, and that helps us really build trust, because we're kind of trying to really tailor our stuff exactly to what the customer needs. So when you can listen, you can really get the insights, but when you kind of think, oh, I know what's wrong with you, I'm going to just inject or force or whatever in my beliefs into them, that could be not met, or it might be wrong or whatever. So we kind of try and really tune into what the person tells us, because they're the expert on them. They know themselves better than anybody else. So we get them to we tease it out of them to find out where to go, where to explore, so we can kind of, unblock the physical and the mental kind of things that are going on for the person.
So I came in, started 2015, and I just remember the first training process. Like, I wasn't even interviewed by Ninja at all. Like, I didn't know him at all. I just knew that when I got the gig, you go to training with Ninja. He's like this mythical kind of creature. Like you said, you are the business. There are other people that were running maybe the finances or the way the direction was going, but without Ninja, there was no MMT. He was the essence of the place. So you rock up to training, and it's just, I remember from day one, it's like he instilled this belief in you that you can fix anything. And we were just, like I said, hairy ass apprentices, like green shoots out of uni. Like, we were the bottom. And you're told at uni, you're the bottom of the rung in hierarchical terms, in terms of, you've got surgeons and physios, all these people are above you. You can't do anything, you just give rubs. Yeah. And then you go to day one training with Ninja, and he's teaching you that you can fix like chronic pain and all this stuff. And he's got these amazing techniques that, we hadn't seen before ever. We'd done a little bit of myofascial release, but the stuff that we were getting done on first day training, you just knew that, I don't know, I just remember having this feeling that this was pretty cutting edge stuff, and I remember just having that belief that, fuck, I'm just going to fix people. So I guess I fully bought in, and I was at a point in my life where I was just ready to start my life or start my career. I felt just like I was a bit lost for a few years and had finished uni, and I was just ready. So I guess I was just an open book, a blank canvas to just, and if Ninja put the hard sell on me and it worked, I was just in from day one. And Jason and I started pretty much the same time, and I think we were both of that mindset, and we both just had great work ethic from watching our parents work when we were young, and so we were just ready to work, and we were both, I guess, we had that drive and desire to just get in the trenches and treat 30 people, because it was hammered home to us. You treat 30 people, and that's just par. That's what you got to do, and we were ready. So I think it was just the perfect combination, not only us but Jason as well. We didn't know then when we first started, but to launch what was the new MMT, because it wasn't too long before your business relationship with your previous partners broke up, maybe 6 months after we started, and
no, not even.
It was like, little did we know. Jason and I had no idea, but we were walking into a bit of a shitstorm. Like, it was like Ninja was holding this good face, like trying to train us new people, but in the background, like, shit was,
a couple months later,
it was happening. So it worked out incredibly well, but it wasn't to say it wasn't a really tough time, and Ninja was feeling it more than most. He was putting on a brave face for us. But we just had to work. So I think it was just, you were just so used to working, doing 40 treatments a week, just busting your ass. We'd get to work at 9, we'd leave at 9. And it just worked out lucky that he got 2 people under him that would, willing to do the same thing and then just learn. And that's kind of set the foundation for the new MMT.
Yeah.
And was this something you could tell pretty early on with both Aaron and Jason, that they were like, these are the kinds of guys that I want in this, in this business, and that I want at my side?
Yeah, I'm going to put Jason under the bus, but he's pretty raw. He's off the farm, and just, we were doing lots of vouchers at the time, and but credit to Jace, like, he just did voucher after voucher, and it turned out it was the best thing possible for him to really get his experience, because he had to really come out of himself and be able to speak and things like this, which wasn't natural for him, and it's not natural for me either. When I was Jace's age, he was probably a lot more advanced than I was at the same age, so I know that that was probably a good thing for him to get in the trenches and do the grind, and and we just sort of did it together. We stuck together. These guys could have left, I'm sure, but we stuck together, and we just our relationship really developed as well, and we just started doing some special things. Like we just started doing some videos and
this shitty old camcorder, like a proper, like a grandpa setup, like with the attachment thing here. We thought we were heroes. Did we doing YouTube videos?
Yeah. We just didn't know what we were doing at all, and didn't know about lighting or sound or editing. Didn't edit, and had to do it right that one take.
Any like stuff up. Like, we did videos, like terrible 2-minute videos where we'd have 20 outtakes because we'd get the intro wrong. Like, hi, I'm Aaron from Melbourne. Oh no! Like nowadays we start a video and we're already laughing and it's fine. But I sometimes forget about Jason's development. Like he, like Ninja said, was just raw as, but where he is now, talk about transformational. Like he went through 50 transformations in the space of like 4 or 5 years, I reckon.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Like he's transformed his whole body as well. He's our poster boy.
He wasn't always built like a brick truck.
Yeah.
Well, he always had that like kind of skinny athletic body, whereas if you gave him any program, he'd probably put on muscle pretty easy. But he is swollen compared to what he is now. Like, he is jacked. So it's a testament to his really rigid training cycles and eating cycles, and I think I mentioned this in a team meeting on Wednesday. He's just this very regimented, consistent, solid person with everything he does, and so he's a testament for consistency in all areas of life. And that's what we needed. I think we had a perfect combination of like, I had a bit of sales experience. I've always been a pretty high energy, high fly person, so like I think the three of us just really complemented each other. But we all had this just drive to work. Like we were just willing to work and not skimp a contest and just get in the trenches, and we had no idea what we were fighting for. We just knew that we had to just work, and like looking back now, that formed the basis of what we've been able to launch now. So
but it wasn't working just for the sake of it. It was because we really wanted to help people. That's what is our essence, isn't it? We just want to help people. We just love that. It gives us a kick.
Like you taught us that we can fix people, and as soon as Jason and I started to actually see that we can fix people and help people and do really amazing things that we didn't think we would have been able to do going through a massage or myotherapy course, as soon as we got that feeling, it's like it's a bit of a drug, you love that feeling, and it's anyone that comes across you that has a problem, you're just like, fuck, I've got to fix you. And you don't do it every time, and that makes you go back to the drawing board and learn more. But I think we not only had this desire to work, but the desire to fix and help was really deep, and create someone. Like I felt like I just wanted to create something of myself too. Like I was ready for that. I was always a bit of a larrikin at school, a bit of like a knockabout kid that was a bit lovable, but a bit of a nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so I was definitely ready to create some kind of status or just something of myself. So when Ninja told me I could be the one to fix anything, I was like, fucking brim, I'm in.
That's it. And I suppose with Aaron as well, you were still on that quest for education as well. So you kind of really try to seek out other things, and you've come back to done a full circle, but you've also brought some gems along the way as well, like just that different knowledge of how the body works. You've just breaking different movements down and things like that. So to pull you in, you've become like the brain, and I'm still the heart of it. He got a lot of heart as well, but he's the brain that kind of pulls things together, like the business wise, just sees the business and what little tweaks we can make and how we can recruit, or
it's the right and left brain, isn't it? Just come together.
It helps me out, like right from the start. After about a year, I think you were helping me with training new people up and running your own lift clubs after a few months of being there and things like that. So right from the start, you bought in, and we formed that team. So
like before I even started at MMT, like I think I've always naturally wanted to have my own business. So I started my own business from home before I actually got to MMT. And I remember like ridiculous stuff. Like I got a $7,000 credit card as a kid with no job, just finished uni. Like I was a dickhead, and I bought a $7,000 massage table. And I just went, stuff this, and just make. At the time, I was like, what? And at the time, I was like, no, this is good. This is fine. But looking back now, I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But that's just, I had this desire to start a business, and I wanted the best stuff, and I wanted it to, like, I just remember this now. I renovated my parents' house. Like I paid for a renovation to put a sliding door with street access into where my bedroom was, and I turned that into my business. And I moved out of home 6 months later. But like I had this desire to start a business, and when I was back in that state, I didn't realise that I had all these aspirations to be a businessman. But I guess I was ready when I saw a spot open as his 2IC. I just naturally, organically, just grabbed it because I was like, no, I want this. You know? So yeah, it's funny how everything's just kind of.
That is so funny. I feel like from that you can see parts of that attitude that comes through in MMT now, where it's like, hang on, we're putting a wall in the business. We're building
a studio. 100%, man. Like, you've always spoken about how quick we are to action things. You know? Like we try and be good with money and be frugal and stuff, but like once we get our mindset on something, we just do it. You know? So.
Well, it's got to be done if you're going to change the world.
That's it.
One other thing I want to bring in, we've talked about you two and Jace. Das obviously is the other kind of like really key member of our leadership team. When did he enter the scene? And tell us a little bit about what that was like. You
got to tell the story about how Das came about.
Yeah, there's a story there. I think it'll be over 9 years ago now. I was just in Bali for a couple of weeks, and I'd just been it was a thunderstorm coming. I'd just been for a dip in the ocean, and I'm, just coming out of the water, and I was walking up the road, and I bumped into this bloke from Wangaratta. He'd been just working on the mines. His first trip to Bali, and just struck up a conversation with him, and he, says, "Come back to." Well, I'm just staying here actually, come up for a beer. I said, oh no, I don't drink beer, mate. Buy me a
mocktail or something.
Juice or a smoothie or something. Anyway, I hung around with this bloke for 5 days, just all around Bari, riding out on motorbikes. I was crashing them and stuff. I couldn't ride them and that. But anyway, that was Darcy's dad. And, and I haven't seen him since. G'day out there, Brendan, if you're watching. But, haven't seen him since. But I said, mate, he told me about his son Darcy and his daughters and stuff, and I'm really proud of his kids. He said, oh yeah, my young bloke, he's really good. He's really, he's into his footy and all that. He's doing his massage and course and his sports
therapy
course and. And I said, I'll give him a job. Anyway, like when Jas graduated, I got this message from Brendan. He said, young bloke wants a job. I said, yeah, cool, just send him in for an interview. And Das was going, what's going on here? What do you know, Dad? You met this bloke in Bali, this is just rubbish. Anyway, Das comes in for an interview with a
broken shoulder,
broke arm in a sling, and broke his collarbone, and covering over his tattoos,
trying to hide his piercings and everything.
And that's where that sort of started.
But he was kind of cut from the same cloth of like talking about transformations. Like Das has done so many transformations since joining us too, hasn't he? Like he was pretty a different kind of raw. He was more streetwise, raw, from the country still though, but he was what we needed at the time too, like another Trojan, another one who's just willing to work and but I guess he had more of that charismatic skill set where he was able to talk and he could talk to anyone no matter what the age, nationality. He just had that natural gift of that connection, what we kind of preach about, connection with people. So he had that in spades. So yeah, it was just natural, I guess, when we were looking at expanding. Jace and Das were, I guess, the next ones there, and they were, I guess, ready to elevate in terms of their job within the business, and they're both keen for the future. So we offered them the chance to buy in, and the rest is history. Become leaders, and they probably were way too young for that point. They were, I guess, managing people that were way older than them in the business because they bought in, but. I guess where we are now as a business, they've been able to really grow into that role, and the four of us have never felt closer, really, which has been amazing. So,
it's definitely something I can attest to having. Since I joined the team, it's one where like you wouldn't pick it either that they became in that leadership role when at a really young age or anything. I remember chatting to Das about how old he is. I'm like, you don't even kind of realize it because I suppose like all four of you. Do fill those shoes, and I definitely feel that from them as well, as having a really strong leadership qualities. And so maybe this is one of the last thing for us to talk about in this chat is, let's talk about this last couple of years. It's one I know that you guys have commented a few times since I started it about, it's like, it was not that long ago, it was a small team, and like MMT, both in terms of its online presence, but also the team itself, which we're up to 22 people?
22 people, 21 people, I think. Yeah.
Now, tell us about this growth, and then maybe we can even finish up, let's wrap up with talking about where we're headed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, how would you start with that, Ninja? We did blow up all of a sudden, didn't we?
Yeah, it just sort of naturally happened, I think. Like, as we got clearer and clearer about who we are, like the right people appeared, and then the people that didn't really buy in on who we are and what we stand for, they kind of just didn't really feel like they fit, and they just sort of naturally went as well. And so, yeah, we have got a really good structure now with the way we train people up. It's gone from like 4 sessions to 6 to 8 to probably 10, and we're just getting a lot better at filming and things like that as well. And so, yeah, but in this conversation, I think what a big thing we stand for is community. So we've got our team is like a family. Like we make sure we're always connecting in with each other. So it's at least once a month we're connecting in with our team meeting, and we have breakfast and things like that. But we're always wanting each other to train with each other, and do swaps and do videos together and do other things that'll help you build your relationship with your teammates. So it's a big thing for us is connection, and we've also got it with our community. So like the local communities, like they can lift with us, they can sprint with us, they can do different things with us, have ice bath, things like that with us, and workshops we're going to do in the future. So I think community is one thing that we've really been big on, connection and community, and we make it work. We're very inclusive, so we want everybody to be authentically who they are, and then find their own niche within us. We've got some structure here, so we've got the walls and our foundation, things that we do with our lifting and our treatments, but from within that, we want people to blossom and be them, because like the right people will find them that need the treatment or the messages or whatever that person has to offer. So I think I wanted to add that in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think the word organic comes to mind. Like we were kind of talking about all these themes of culture and family a long time ago, before we felt like we really had the family that we were searching for, or the team environment, but we just knew that if we hammer home these principles, that eventually we were destined to find that. And I can't remember when it exactly happened, but it just felt like one day we woke up and we were like, oh my God, like we've actually got an amazing culture and unity here within the team. And I think the tough times of the last 2 years with the pandemic and everything probably galvanized that even more, because we were able to connect on a deeper level, and we were reaching out to each other and making sure we were okay, and we got through it all together. And so I think that really galvanized us a lot stronger as well. But like Ninja said, organically, like the people, when we do campaign drives to hire people, they don't work. It's like you have to see us, or see through things, or actually get the essence of what we are for people to come and want to work with us. And they're the ones that are great employees and great staff members, because they're here for the right reasons. And just the same, like we never really get rid of people. It's just like people just they fall off because things don't align, and that's completely okay as well. Because a big passion that's starting to develop from us is that, like Dorf coins it as a bit of a vortex at MMT. Like you come in as a practitioner or a digital person, whatever, and you get sucked up into the vortex, which is MMT, and you get spat out more aligned. It's like you find your alignment or your path within these 4 walls, and that's a massive passion of ours. Is if MMT is just a part of your journey, a part to come and get realigned and then you go off, and that's the best we can do is hope that happens within our 4 walls. We get people to feel better about themselves and find their path and find their calling, because everyone deserves that. And so if we can help that anyway, that's amazing for us.
Yeah, amazing. And that's definitely these are a couple of things that do resonate really strongly with me, of what MMT is like for me, and what it feels like to be a part of this community, because it's something where MMT fam is a term that gets thrown around a lot, and it's something that is really deeply felt by everybody, and there is that strong sense of community, that comes with it, and connection. And it is something, it's like connection is at the center of what we do, but it's not just that connection with tissue, it's that connection between people. I remember mentioning to a mate of mine a while ago, I was like, oh yeah, we have team meetings on like once a month on Wednesdays, but we also have like a training in between, so it's like 3 Wednesdays a month, and it's for 2 hours, it goes for 2 hours, and he's like 2-hour team meeting. He's like, geez, that's a fair bit. I was like, oh, well, I mean, like half of it is brekkie.
Yeah, so true.
You know, because it's like these are the values of it, that getting together and just like having breakfast together, talking shit, and just like connecting is like what this place is about. And realizing also, I think that it's like, I remember actually this conversation that we had, so when we were getting the photos done last year, about how I think one of the things I was realizing at the time is like so much of what we do, obviously there's the technical side and there's tissue and there's all of that, but at the end of the day it's just connecting with people, because as you connect with people and create that strong feeling of connection and safety, then they just can heal themselves.
That's healing,
you know?
Yeah.
And that like that is at the center of what we do, and like it's like that, some of these ideas is what everything at MMT is about, and it's like, I don't know, for me it's an amazing place because it does embody some of these things, and you learn it. You know, you learn it through experiencing it. You know, you do get told. You know, Ninja's got a million one-liners that'll tell it, but it's like sometimes you hear them and they sink in over time through the experience of being a part of this community.
Yeah. It's important, isn't it? It gets deeper and deeper the more we experience it. Like simplest little, you know, messages. They get deeper and deeper, more and more meaningful, don't they, over time? So
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, people are just evolving here, aren't they? Like it's not just a workplace. People actually evolve and transform.
Well, 3 years ago, we just had massage practitioners, and now we've got our online strategists. We've got our digital man. We've got contact therapy. You know, Jack and Ash are doing kinesiology and NLP stuff. So there's all this new jobs and roles that have come out of the evolution of MMT. Which for us is epic, because when muscular therapies is probably becoming somewhat superseded in a way, because we're growing into this very multidisciplinary like modality kind of clinic. So we'll watch this space. But I guess your last question that you want to sign off on is where we're going. Hey, so what's the plan, Ninj? Where are we heading, man?
I just want to help more people in a nutshell. So I want to serve more people. We want to reach out around the world. So we've got practitioner courses that we've got online. We want to do practitioner courses in person. We want to do courses that people at home can work on themselves or work on another person. So we just want to help the people around the world stop suffering from their physical pain, firstly, but then we want them to kind of realize that human connection and movement of the body and in connection with nature, all those kind of things. We want to just exemplify that, and then just show you how important it is to have in your life, how important it is to value it. It's get it into your life, and then you're going to have a better journey through life. So so we want to fix the physical first, and then we can work on other things later. So
I think a big thing that Ninja and I are learning is that like we love the immersion experiences and the transformation that people can get by doing the stuff that we know works. So I guess when we were talking about this with Scott earlier, just we want to upscale that really and make it, like Ninja said, more reach around the world. So world tours, we want to take the whole team on a tour, run all these workshops all over the world, and just run these immersion experiences so people can really dive into the principles and methods and techniques that we know can fix physical pain, but also help you optimize your life to make sure you're living the best living experience you can possibly have. So in a nutshell, world tour and maybe like a retreat in Australia where people can come and really dive into what we've got to offer is, I guess, the ultimate plan.
Sounds alright. I can get around both of those. Alright, well, do you guys have any last thoughts that you want to share before we wrap this one up?
Just getting started,
No, I've got plenty in the tank, so so there's plenty in between that we're going to do before we go on that world tour. So we're getting that all set up now. So
nice one.
Join in.
Nice one, and watch this space.
Watch this space.
Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Done.